Mysterious alien parasites start to invade our planet. One of these parasites enters through the ear of a middle-aged man sleeping next to his wife, while another attempts to enter through the ear of a high school student named Shinichi Izumi. The alien fails to penetrate Shinichi's ear, but he infects his hand. Frightened, Shinichi tries to remove it. His mother Nobuko rushes to check her son, but she finds nothing wrong. The next morning, the alien in the man's body eats his brain and takes control of his body. Meanwhile, Shinichi retains his human consciousness, perhaps because of the way the alien entered his body. The alien seems to have taken control of Shinichi's right hand by grabbing Satomi, Shinichi's girlfriend. The alien extends Shinichi's hand to grab objects and throw a ball into the basket from a distance without even looking. Shinichi confronts his hand with a sharp knife, forcing the alien to reveal himself. It turns out that the alien can change shape. He transforms his right hand into a snake, frightening our poor Shinichi. However, the alien who has taken control of Shinichi's hand is friendlier than the others of his species, who are much more aggressive. The alien is now part of Shinichi's hand and will live on as long as the boy is alive. With no other choice, Shinichi befriends the parasite and calls him Migi. While Migi learns the Japanese language, sword fighting, human anatomy and archery, the other alien goes on a killing spree. As the boy returns home from school, Migi senses the presence of other aliens and drags Shinichi into a nearby restaurant. With the front door closed, they sneak into the restaurant through the back door. Horrified, Migi and Shinichi see the alien feeding on a human. The alien soon realizes that Migi hasn't killed his human host. Migi warns the alien to move away, knowing that if Shinichi dies, he will die with him. However, the alien reveals that although two alien brains cannot reside in a human head, but Migi can reside in the alien host's hand. The alien then amputates his host's hand and asks Migi to infect it so that the alien can feed on Shinichi's brain. Migi refuses, and the two aliens clash. Migi puts his sword lessons to good use, killing the other alien and saving Shinichi. It turns out that Migi is able to survive in his host's hand thanks to the nutrients he receives from Shinichi. Meanwhile, Inspector Hirama begins to investigate the murders. He suspects a cannibal killer is on the loose. The next day, at school, Shinichi's principal introduces a new teacher, Ryoko Tamiya. Migi reveals that his new teacher has been infected by an alien. Ryoko assures them that she means them no harm. They then find themselves in an aquatic zoo, where Ryoko introduces them to two other aliens, Shimada Hideo, a high school student, and Mr. A, a policeman. The aliens ask Ryoko why she took them to meet a human, and Ryoko reveals that she wishes to study the human way of life. Ryoko reveals that she is pregnant of a normal human child with Mr. A. Ryoko believes that everyone needs others to survive and find their purpose in life. She is also concerned about the murders in the media and is looking for a way to feed on humans without creating a media spectacle. She asks Migi and Shinichi to cooperate with her. When Shinichi and Migi decline, Ryoko warns them of the serious consequences if they try to thwart her. At home, seeing Shinichi so distant lately, his mother asks him if he's alright, but Shinichi gets irritated and tells her he's not a child anymore. The next day, on their way home from school, Migi and Shinichi bump into Mr. A. Migi senses that the alien intends to kill and asks Shinichi to avoid him, but Mr. A follows him into an alley. Migi decides to confront him and order him to move away. He reveals that he has heard about the parasite Migi killed in a restaurant, and an intense fight ensues. Shinichi slowly approaches the alien hiding a metal pipe, and stabs Mr. A with it. Shinichi is shaken after killing a human, but Migi reminds him that the alien already killed the human when he took over the host's body. Meanwhile, Shinichi's mother spots Mr. A helpless in the driveway. At home, Migi suspects an alien is approaching their house. Shinichi rushes into the kitchen and grabs a knife. The door opens and it's Shinichi's mother. Migi warns him that Mr. A has taken over his mother's body, but Shinichi refuses to believe him. Suddenly, Mr. A speaks through Shinichi's mother, confirming Migi's words. Shinichi bursts into tears and apologizes to his mother for keeping the truth from him. Suddenly, the alien pierces Shinichi's heart and wounds him. Migi cries out in disbelief as Shinichi collapses to the ground. As Mr. A leaves, Migi enters Shinichi's body through the hole Mr. A has left in his back. 2 days pass and Shinichi regains consciousness. Migi reveals that he used part of himself to close the hole in Shinichi's body and left part of himself in his heart to repair it. However, Shinichi isn't too happy to be alive after losing his mother. After recovering, Shinichi goes to school to confront Ryoko. He asks her about Mr. A, but she refuses to reveal his whereabouts. Furious, Shinichi throws a knife at her, but she easily blocks it and leaves. Meanwhile, Inspector Hirama finds Shinichi's fingerprints on the iron pipe and in the restaurant. Still in mourning, Shinichi wanders the city and comes across a political rally. Migi determines that politician Takeshi Hirakawa, who is addressing the crowd, has been infected by an alien. Migi assumes that the aliens want to create a place where they can eat humans. Later, Inspector Hirama stops by Shinichi's house. He questions him about the policeman's murder, but Shinichi denies any knowledge of it. The next day, Satomi introduces Shimada to Shinichi, but Shinichi obviously knows him well. Satomi reveals that Shimada has just been transferred to their school. The girl forces Shinichi to shake hands with the alien. The alien tries to shake Shinichi's left hand, but Shinichi shakes the alien's hand just as hard. Migi surmises that the cell used to repair Shinichi's heart is still alive inside him and is modifying Shinichi's body to make him stronger. This also has an effect on Shinichi's personality, so he's determined to find and challenge Mr. A. Migi explains that he can't always be there to protect him as he has to sleep 4 hours a day and, unlike humans, Migi can't choose when to sleep and can't even be woken up during those hours. After a lengthy investigation, the police determine that the parasites are responsible for a series of murders in the city. It turns out that the parasites can be identified by their hair, because if a hair is pulled, the strand reacts by curling up. The next day, the principal learns of Ryoko's pregnancy and forces her to take maternity leave. Migi and Shinichi are delighted with the news, but she reminds them that Shimada will continue to keep an eye on them. Ryoko reveals that Shimada will fit in perfectly with the school environment because, like her, Shimada doesn't eat human flesh. Meanwhile, Shimada is in the classroom as an artistic model. As Satomi guides Shimada into the right pose, Satomi's friend pulls his hair. To her horror, the hair begins to curl. The girl and her friends realize that Shimada is a parasite and start to panic. Shimada heads for the girls, but Satomi throws a bottle of nail polish remover into the alien's mouth. The chemical disfigures the alien and sends him spinning in circles. Satomi encourages the girls to run away, but Shimada stops them and starts executing them. Migi senses Shimada's murderous intentions and rushes into the art room. Shinichi stumbles across a trail of his classmates' corpses, causing him to panic. Eventually, they spot the alien who is about to kill Satomi. Shinichi saves her and confronts Shimada, but Ryoko suddenly appears. Furious that Shimada is behind the mess, Ryoko throws a bomb at him. Shinichi quickly grabs the injured Satomi and they jump out of the building. After the explosion, the police arrive and confront the alien who survived. Shinichi sends Satomi to hospital in an ambulance to return to Shimada. Shinichi fires a metal bar from another building and kills the alien for good. Ryoko appears and says she's going to disappear for a while until she has her baby. Before leaving, she gives Shinichi the place to save the boy's mother. Shinichi finds Mr. A at the address and follows him. But Migi suddenly tells him they have to go home because he's sleepy. Migi wishes him luck and transforms into a sword before falling asleep. Mr. A notices Shinichi and discovers to his amazement that he's still alive. The alien launches an attack, but is surprised by Shinichi's speed. Shinichi gets closer and closer to the alien. Mr. A tricks the boy using his mother's voice, but Nobuko regains consciousness and she blocks the attack. Shinichi takes the opportunity to kill Nobuko, taking Mr. A with her. In the days that follow, Hirakawa wins the election to become mayor. Meanwhile, Inspector Hirama is approached by a special assault squad agent named Yamagishi, who makes him sign a letter of confidentiality for a project called Protection of Human Life. Ryoko and Hirakawa talk to a mysterious parasite named Goto, who reveals that when he took possession of his human host's body, he was ordered to put an end to humanity. If you'd like to see the second part of the video, comment, subscribe and leave a like. Thanks for watching.